And Donald Trump has told us his priorities for a second term. He says that one of his highest priorities is to set free the violent extremists who insulted those law enforcement officers on January 6th.
With Vice President Harris revisiting the scene of Donald Trump's January 6th crimes, where he urged his mob of followers to go to the Capitol and fight like hell, thousands of people are reliving how that day changed their lives, including the families of the people who have been arrested, convicted, and sentenced to prison for attacking the Capitol. Some of those family members agree with what their convicted relatives did, but many of them, we don't know how many of them, sharply disagree with what their family members did on that day. One of those family members who disagrees is our next guest, Jackson Reffitt, who was 18 years old and living with his parents in Texas when his father, who he watched descend into Trump paranoia, drove to Washington with his guns to help install Donald Trump in the presidency. That story is told in a brilliant and powerful, moving new play called Fatherland, now at New York City Center. Conceived and directed by Stephen Sachs, Fatherland uses public records and trial transcripts to tell this real-life father-son drama.
Everybody who was there on the 6th should be locked up for the rest of their lives. Everyone.
Are you recording this?
What?
Are you recording this?
No! I am not recording.
You better not be. Don't betray me. Don't ruin this family. Do not put this family in jeopardy.
I am not the one that is putting our family in jeopardy.
If you cross a line here, I will do my duty. I will have no other choice. Choose a side! Choose a side or die! I put you in this world. I can take you out. Don't turn your back on me!
I'm not turning my back!
Whoever turns his back on me is a traitor! Is that what's happening here? If you turn me in, you are a traitor. And traitors get shot.
Jackson Reffitt called the FBI to turn in his father, who is now serving a 7-year sentence. When asked about the possibility of his father being released, along with all the other January 6th prisoners, by Donald Trump on Inauguration Day in January, Jackson Reffitt told the New York Times, "It's terrifying." Joining us now is Jackson Reffitt. Thank you very much for joining us tonight, Jackson. I just saw this play last week, and I am still in the buzz of it. It is just so powerful, as you know. I know you've seen it, and you lived through it. What will it mean to you if all of the January 6th prisoners are released on Inauguration Day?
It means I'm always going to be in danger. Trump has said that one of the biggest targets is the enemy within. And I'm sure from a lot of perspectives, such as Trump's, I'm one of those examples. So if my father and everyone involved in January 6th is released, I don't know what else to think other than fear.
Do you have any hope that anything has changed for your father by being in prison, and he might possibly come out wiser from that experience?
So one of the biggest regrets I have is being ignorant to the fact that he might have gotten better. Prison might have helped him. It might have pushed him away from those militias and those extreme groups. Yet, as time has gone on, he's only gotten more radicalized in prison by being with like-minded people. And my biggest regret is not being aware that would happen, and it's only gotten worse.
There is so much complexity in your relationship that is revealed in the court transcripts, in the brilliant cross-examination by Larry Poindexter, who plays your father's defense attorney, Anna Kaja, who plays the prosecutor, asking Patrick Kelleher, who we saw playing you, those questions, and it really is you. It really is exactly what you went through in the courtroom. Ron Botita playing your father so powerfully, and when we sit there in the theater, seeing what you go through, one of the words that gets repeated more than once is the word love. And that is a word repeated between you and your father for each other. There is a complexity to the feelings here that in the story that is told here that is so profound and so rich. Can you describe your feelings for your father now?
He's my father. I still love him, but that does not justify any of his actions, and it won't if he continues to act like this. He raised me to be the person I am today, the honest, the trustworthy person that I've become. He gave me all the privilege I have in my life to be who I am because he gave that to me, because he raised me. And I still love him. He means the world to me. And that's what made that decision so hard, is because if I wouldn't have made that decision, who knows how far it would have gone. Who could have gotten hurt if he could have gotten hurt? All this paranoia built up over the years. I could only imagine.
Stephen Sachs takes credit as a director. He does not take credit as a playwright, I notice, in the credits of this. He conceived this, but he used the transcripts, and I think is modestly not taking credit as a playwright because of that. But the story is all yours, and it is all your father's, and it is all real. Every word of it is real. If you could speak to your father tonight, what would you say to him?
I would tell him again that I'm sorry, and that I understand the position he was put in as a father in times of hardship, horrible, horrible hardship, with responsibilities that very few can relate to, with that much anxiety and being that scared, not knowing what's going to happen, and making that choice, thinking that that's going to go save your family. You can't help but feel for something like that. And I do. And I love him, but I can't say anything to him other than please stop. Please stop going down this wrong path. And it's so hard to talk to him now, given everything that's happened. There's so much heartbreak when it comes to calling him. It's next to impossible. But if I were able to speak to him now, it would be, I love you.
Jackson Reffitt, thank you very much for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
The play is called Fatherland. It is running at New York City Center in Manhattan until November 10th. This is a must-see play. If you can see one play in New York, this is it. We'll be right back.